For more on this, we're now joined by Executive Director of Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPID, Dikeledi Ntlatseng, and she joins us via our video link. Dikeledi, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. I mean, just looking at the heartbreaking story there coming out of the Northwest, you as IPID have now been roped in to help with the investigations. What do you make of these allegations which have been leveled against the police?
No, thank you very much, and good evening to you and your viewers at home. We've been roped in as IPID. We realize that this problem is a growing trend, and it's not only one province, but provinces which have rural communities are complaining about the challenges around stock theft and the alleged police involvement in stock theft. So for us, it's becoming a serious problem. It's actually creating more work for us as IPID, and we are ready to investigate such cases because it amounts to corruption, it amounts to bribery by the police. Because one of the things that was raised by communities there was that the police know these criminals. The police, when these criminals have taken that stock, they also get their share in that stock. So it's those kind of things that makes us to say that this is corruption, we need to deal with it as IPID.
And as IPID, what prompted you to say that this is an investigation that you would like to actually pursue? How many complaints did you receive from the Northwest which raised the alarm for you to intervene?
We got a list of cases that were given to us by an organization called They gave us a list of cases where they've reported to the police station and nothing has been done. They also identified police officers who are involved in this, who are allegedly involved in this kind of crime. So that list on its own, it's got something like 20 to 25 cases. So that's why we felt that let's start with the cases that were forwarded to us and deal with those cases. But we are not the only ones. What we have done is that we have partnered with the national SAPS under Brigadier Ditata, who is responsible for stock theft, to make sure that we eradicate such challenges or deal with those challenges.
And looking at how bad the situation is in the Northwest, if maybe you can give us some sort of picture. You know, I mean, we saw a woman there in that clip saying she had 100 goats and now all of a sudden she has 10. You know, how bad is stock theft in the Northwest?
I must say it's very bad. The number of cattle that were stolen, the number of goats and sheep that were stolen in that area, they are just a lot. And it's even disheartening to see officers not even investigating those cases. Because one of the complaints was that we report these cases and then what? Because there's no follow-up. Instead, communities are prepared to go out and on their own patrol the area. They have initiated a stop and search operations, but the police were not supporting. But what I've also picked up in the area is that there is no good relations between the community and the police. The community policing forums in such areas, it's not functioning properly because that's what we got from the members. And the members, communities are willing to work with the police to deal with these challenges. You know, it's even hurting when they were even mentioning some of the criminals that are involved and nothing has been done. And such that they allege that police officers are involved. And they also mentioned that there are prosecutors when these cases must go to court. There are some prosecutors who've been bribed to do that. So it's a pity that we've got the list and we can't even mention the names of those officers who are involved who are allegedly involved in such criminal activities and some of the prosecutors. So it's really disheartening, and for communities to be up in arms the way they've called us, it shows that people are tired, people are really concerned. What is even hurting, it's when you realize that it's mainly pensioners who have invested in livestock for that livestock to be taken away from them. It's really not on. And I just feel that we need to stand up as government to ensure that we deal with such cases. And we are also working with the MP Fesser, who also brought this to our attention. And she has made a commitment that they will also form part of the working committee that we are trying to establish in Northwest to see if our strategy that we've agreed upon with members will really work for us.
And Dikeledi, earlier on you spoke about how bad stock theft is also in other farming communities. Perhaps also just give us an indication in terms of how other provinces are also dealing with stock theft. I mean, we just understand, looking at the statistics from at least October to December on a national scale, there was at least 793 cases opened when it comes to stock theft. Which other provinces are you dealing with as IPID?
We've just started in Northwest to intervene. So we are hoping that as soon as we get other cases in other rural communities, particularly your Limpopo as well as your Eastern Cape, will certainly intervene. So what we're doing is that we're trying to pilot our model in Northwest, and once that pilot project is taking off, we'll also make sure that other areas are benefiting from that pilot project. So hence we've just roped in the national office to say, let's work together to deal with such, and let's also make sure that we root out corrupt element within the SAPS who are allegedly involved in this kind of activities.
How long do you anticipate that, this investigation will take place? I mean, we know that with the Northwest community, they've been complaining now for, quite some time about stock theft and that nothing has really been done in their community. How long will this community receive the answers that they need? When you deal with investigation, it's very difficult for us to say it will take you a year or it will take you 2 months or 3 months. There's a process that we've set in place where we'll be going back to all the cases that are reported in that particular police station of Northwest, just to see what is the progress with regard to the cases where they really investigated, and what is it that they've done to deal with the matter, so that we can also hold some of the officers accountable. But second to that, it's also make sure that as IPID, we do our job of investigating such cases. So as soon as we get evidence and we have witnesses to that effect, we'll be able to proceed with investigation. We're envisaging that within 90 days, there should be people who are going to be arrested who are involved in such activities. So you are unable to say whether it's a month or it's 3 months or it's a year. For as long as we have sufficient evidence that will be presented in court, it will really help us a lot. All right, Dikeledi, thank you so much for your time, ma'am, this evening here on SABC News. That is Dikeledi Ntlatseng. She is the Executive Director of the Independent Police Investigative Directorate. They're giving us an insight in terms of that investigation that is being undertaken by IPID, looking into stock theft. Of course, saying that Northwest is not the only province that they will be focusing on. We'll also be looking into the likes of Limpopo as well as the Eastern Cape.